Hell yeah, what's going on my fellow Tenno? Today we're taking a look at Citrine, and she is one of the most complete Warframes to ever be created. At first glance, most people view her as just a support Warframe. That's true, she is an amazing support Warframe, but she is so much more than that. Citrine is one of the most powerful Warframes in Warframe, period. She can do anything in the game with ease and do it with just one finger. Now, she can produce unlimited amounts of energy with her first ability, Fractured Blast. She's going to hit the enemy with this ability, and they are inflicted with a slash status effect. And with this build, we have an energy orb drop rate of 74% and a health orb drop rate of 187%, which we convert into more energy. Take a look at the gameplay in the background. I literally cannot spam my abilities fast enough to drop my energy levels, and we are producing this energy for our allies as well. She's also an excellent tank Warframe with incredible survivability. It's her second ability, Preserving Shell, that instantly gives her and nearby allies up to a 90% damage reduction. Now, since we're generating so much energy, we are able to spam our abilities, and by doing so, we're constantly generating health regeneration of 25 health per second via her passive ability, which is pretty good, but even more importantly, we are replenishing our shields at 230% of the energy we spend. Now, since we have a negative energy efficiency with increased casting speed, and in this case, that is a very good thing, we instantly generate our shields back, and before our health can be damaged, we already have our shields back to full health. Now, we become virtually unkillable as long as we are damaging enemies we cannot be killed. Her third ability, Prismatic Gem, deploys a gem that inflicts heat, cold, toxin, and electricity status effects with a status chance of 374% and status duration of 163%. This is the ability that makes Citrine one of the best dot Warframes, meaning damage over time. Any enemy you attack just melts away, and our damage gets a massive damage increase because of our fourth ability. Now, we are subsuming over Citrine's fourth ability, Crystallize, with Wisp Breach Surge. Now, any enemy touched by the Breach Surge is hit with a Radiation Surge Spark, and they have an added damage multiplier of 7.48x. It's with this combination that we can have Surge Sparks hit into the multiple tens of millions. All right, before we jump into the build, if I may kindly ask, if you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It makes a massive difference with the YouTube algorithms, and it would be greatly appreciated. So thank you so much. Now we're going to move over to the shards. We have 3 Tau Forged Amber Archon Shards. If you don't have Tau Forged, that's totally fine. You're going to add 25% casting speed versus 37.5. So in regards to your first ability, Fractured Blast, you'll be able to do 3 cast instead of 4 per second. So it's really not that big of a deal. It's just more like a quality of life, and it just makes things easier all around. So if you don't have them, not a big deal. Now, these other 2 over here, I have another Amber Archon Shard, so we're adding more effectiveness on the energy orbs, and this last one is a complete flex spot. You can put whatever you want here. Now, Citrine is one of the few Warframes that can really benefit from Archon mods. Now, if you don't have them, it's not that big a deal. You can put the normal mods here, but she has some really good synergy. So with Continuity, she adds Corrosive Status Effect. With Stretch, she gets more energy regen, and with Vitality, she's getting an extra heat status effect. So those 3 add a lot of cool synergies to her kit. Now, in terms of survivability, so we have our energy efficiency, as I mentioned before, down to 45%. Each cast of Fractured Blast, which we're casting 3 to 4 per second, so we're way over 100 energy per second. So here's how we're staying alive easily. Like, we're literally never gonna die if we are casting our first ability. So with Brief Respite, we're adding 150% of the energy spent on our shields, and on top of that, we're adding an additional 40% with Augur Reach. And with our weapon, we're going to add another 40%, so that goes up to 230%. That'll easily keep you alive. Now, on top of that, we have Multi-Efficiency adding 36%, which brings our duration up to 164. And Molt Augmented is adding 60% strength, bringing our strength up to 314%. All right, this is the weapon we're using. We're using the Grimoire. This is completely optional because Citrine already has incredible survivability. But I like to get a little bit crazy with survivability because I just want to go buck wild sometimes. And the Fast Can Tickle mod takes our shield recharge up to 230%. And on top of that, it actually adds minus 28% shield recharge delay. So on top of that, we are adding secondary fortifiers. So if our shields do happen to go out and we are hitting an overguard enemy, we can get overguard up to 15,000. Now on top of that, I have Vom Invocation here, adding 60% strength. So that could take us up to 374% strength. Now, if you think you already have enough and you want more ability duration, then go with the Risk Invocation mod. Now, our companion is the Nautilus Prime. If you don't have the Prime version, you can just go with the regular Nautilus. That's totally fine too. Now, in regards to the weapon the Nautilus is using, it's irrelevant. You can use whatever you want. I have a couple different setups here. This is a cold and corrosive, and this is an electricity and viral. You can actually go with whatever you want, experiment, choose whatever it is that you want. Go ahead, because it really doesn't make that big of a difference in your overall damage. You are literally just melting enemies anyway. So just experiment, have some fun with it, do what you want. Now, moving over to the Nautilus Prime, what's really important for this build and what makes it all come together and just feel so good is the Cordon mod. So the Cordon mod for Nautilus groups all the enemies in front of you. So as they're in front of you, they're dropping all the energy orbs and the health orbs, so you're instantly sucking them up. And that's what I was showing you earlier in the video, is that there is no possible way that you could ever run out of energy as long as you are damaging enemies, because you're constantly just sucking it right up. They drop it and you go whoop right into you. Now, the playstyle of Citrine could not be simpler. Just always keep her second and third ability active. Keep them up at all times. Besides that, what you want to do is you want to hit her fourth ability, Breach Surge. So you want to have that active on all enemies at all times. And once it is, just spam the heck out of your first ability, Fractured Blast. Everything melts in front of you at that point. All right, that's going to wrap up our look at Citrine. I'm trying to keep these videos below 10 minutes. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is there something else you'd like to see in the videos? You want to make them shorter? But let me know. I love interacting with you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.